welcome to a hybrid edition of Z and B Live. I am one of your hosts, Zach M. Rutledge. Zach, you can just call me Zach. It's fine. Just fine. I'll just go by Zach today. And then I have Mr. Bricks O'Brien over
Hello.
here. You, sir, you've been cooking behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. I would love to see a chart from your sleep app just to see like how bad it really is over the past what are we in, day 8 now? Is this day 8 of Stand Up to Cancer?
I'll tell you this as of right now. Monday, I technically couldn't log my sleep because the rollover for what Pokemon Sleep considers to be a day is 4 a.m. So one of these days, I have like technically a full night's sleep, even though it like rolled over at a time. 5 hours today, it was 5 hours, 22 minutes. Before that, it was 5 hours, 38 minutes. So we are on fumes. On fumes does not describe it. 5:22, 5:38. Yeah. So
I feel like I've been hanging with you in solidarity here. I mean, for completely different reasons, but like I haven't been getting a whole lot of sleep either. But last night was the culmination, I felt like, of all of that, because I don't know what it was. I was so tired. I got done with, I didn't feel very well yesterday, and I think it's just because of lack of sleep and stuff from other projects I'm working on. And I ended stream last night. I was joined by the great A Skywalker, Ask Walker, and we did some model making. I got done. I went immediately upstairs to our bedroom, and I fell asleep in about 5 minutes.
Wow.
And I never do that. And that was like 8 o'clock or something like that, like when we ended last night.
Wow.
So I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I was out, and then at 12:45, between 12:45 and 12:50, I woke up. I just randomly woke up, right? And I should never do this, and I always kick myself when I do this. I woke up and I grabbed my phone just to kind of like, because I felt like I had just died to the planet. I was like, I need to catch up on like what did I miss, right? And so I turn on. I always kind of do this. I turn on Twitch to have some noise in the background, like scrolling emails or Discord or whatever. I turn on more, and I no more than turn his stream on. We hit 100,000. Like it was like. I mean, fate showed up last night so I could experience that moment in real time. It was incredible. And then at that point I was cooked, because then I was watching you, like, so you guys got on a call together, and the Discord message went out, and then I was cooked at that point. I was up till 3 o'clock, just like on a high. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. 7 days, $100,000. What took us 10 days last year, right? Like we crossed it in the 11th hour, right?
No, I think it was maybe day 9. It was getting down to it. I think maybe that Friday. So we are ahead of schedule from where we were last year, and that is also with $12,000 in fake donations messing with us in that time. So literally a week ago today, we had what we had at the time perceived to be very generous donations come in, and by golly, they weren't. And we had to not only as coordination team, we had to like assess the situation, but then, lead by example, communicate and bring it to the table, not just for the team, but for all the different communities. And my patience, my everything has never been more tested in the past week. And every single day there has been something going on. And, like, I'm just very, let me be very clear. Very, very grateful for everybody on the team to raise this amount of money to come together. But holy, can you give me the bleep sound?
Yes.
Holy am I done. I am so done. And we still have a few days left.
Still got a few days left.
Yeah. All of the Bricker Builds hearts have sold out. The kits are going to the people. There will be some giveaways happening for 10 of them across the community.
Nice.
You can purchase instructions if you'd like to. Bricker Builds will be making a donation on Saturday where we're doing our community finale, being joined by Andy at Stand Up to Cancer and a whole bunch of other people. I don't know. You did say you were going to be there. Are you busy Saturday?
I'm going to do my best to be there, but if I am there, it'll be for a very short amount of time. I want to make room for a lot of other people. I get enough FaceTime with you. I don't need to sit there and take up any more of your bandwidth. You know what I mean? But there are so many amazing humans that contributed so much to the overall campaign. I want to make sure that they get all of the time that they deserve. In that, because it is going to be we're talking again 100 creators, 100 people involved with this. That's just on the creator side. Forget the thousands of people that surrounded those creators, chipping in and chipping away at this goal. And like you said, when we hit a little bit of a speed bump with some bogus donos, and the fact that the community rallied so quickly to cover that discrepancy was incredible. Like, it's like just when you think like you can't, that whole team community can't get any better than then they go and do something like that, right? Like, you're like, man, y'all, like, got a more like just crying his eyes out like daily now. Like, he can't, and part of that, and I totally get it, because I've felt that type of mental exhaustion before. That's part of it. You guys are so mentally, the coordinators, are so mentally exhausted that when you see that generosity and that love hit, it's hard to hold it in. Like, it really, really, really is. So I just say, let your emotions fly, go nuts, get it out, because you need to. You're holding it here, and with all of your exhaustion, and you just need to. And once you get it out, you're going to feel a lot better. And I gotta imagine that crossing that threshold, that mark, hitting that goal finally, that it felt good. Like, there's a sense of relief almost, like, hey, we did it. Not to take away from the fact that, look, Stand Up to Cancer as an organization, they would have been absolutely excited, over the moon, if we raised $5. Like, that is still a huge contribution. And I don't want to diminish anybody's single dollar dono here or single dollar dono there. Like, you guys did work amongst so many communities by just doing those little bits here and there, or by just showing up, by just being there, by helping, share out links, by helping populate stream numbers and viewer numbers across all of Twitch and YouTube and all these other platforms that we've been on. That right there has been huge contributions throughout. So again, I don't want to diminish any type of engagement that any of our community has done. You all have been absolute heckin' rock stars. And the coordinators here have helped organize this and whatnot. But Brian alluded to the fact that there's a bunch of giveaways going on and have been going on amongst all the different creator channels and whatnot. I see Arc Fox in our chat right now. He's going to be giving away one of the Stand Up to Cancer hearts on his channel tonight. At the end of our show tonight, don't go anywhere, because we're going to be giving away the a battle bus display case from, help me out with the sponsor,
Kingdom Brick Supply.
So we're going to be doing some murder bears for that. If you guys would like to get involved, this is for viewers only. Okay. So the content creators out there that are part of the stream team, do not enter. All right. Not even for fun, because you mess up everybody else, like being able to, like, I don't want your murder bear killing one of their murder bears. You know what I mean? Where they could have survived because, your murder bear was in there. So don't enter if you are a part of the stream team. You guys, listen, Your payment is coming from me personally. I cannot thank you all enough for everything that you've been doing over the last 8 days and will continue to do over the next 2. It's been absolutely incredible. So I thank you all. I applaud you all for everything you've done. But make sure you stick around for the end of the stream today. We will be doing that giveaway for everybody viewing here that is eligible. On to some Lego news. Now, there have been we hit a little bit while we were on our little bit of a break, and just got a massive amount of information on top of some rumors and leaks and things like that. But the Lego world was turned upside down this past week, and we don't typically cover leaks. We don't typically, get into showing said things, but I felt compelled to break our normal routine because of how extraordinary this new bit of news dropped. So I feel like just showing it is more than enough to start the conversation. I don't feel like we should, beat around the bush any longer. Lego has unofficially leaked the look at the brand new UCS Ultimate Collector Series Death Star that we've all been waiting to see what it would look like, clocking in at $1,000 USD. Ladies and gentlemen, the UCS Death Star. Oh wait, that's a pancake. Hold on. That was the wrong thing. Hold on. Wait. I've got the right one. Ladies and gentlemen, the UCS Death Star. Oh, wait, that's a toilet seat. Hold on. Wait. I know I had it on one of these tabs. There it is. There's the UCS. I give up. I don't know. I must have lost the image. I don't know where the image went. But
hold on. Where do we start?
Where do we start? Let's start with expectations. We all had expectations, and I feel like expectations are they're a detriment to what you expect in movies and video games and television shows. People get expectations, and they typically things never live up to set expectations. Okay. We all had ideas of what they could or should do with a UCS style Death Star. And part of it is we had examples out there of previous larger collector type Death Stars that Lego had done. We've seen some failures when it comes to more collector series sets, like Cloud City as an example. And that's kind of a benchmark of where you shouldn't be, right? And so we all kind of said, okay, well, they're not going to do that. Like, cause they all know, even the Lego brass knows, like the Cloud City was a failure. So we can't do that. Right. And we've seen them do good things with previous iterations with a larger size Death Star. So it's like, well, how do you just improve on that? The big kicker was the expectation of $1,000 USD. How big could this thing be? And then you start hearing rumors of it being a 9,000 piece set. And like, okay, now we're talking like this thing is going to be big. 9,000 pieces. Like now it's starting to make sense. Oh, you're going to get like 40 minifigs. Okay, no, there's a lot of stuff going on there. And you and I talked about it again. Expectation was we said it on this channel. You're going to do a Death Star. You're going to have at least 3 to 4 different Luke Skywalker versions, right? We knew it. We called it. We said, you're going to have your standard Tatooine style Luke Skywalker, your Stormtrooper Luke Skywalker, your Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker, right? You're going to have those Luke Skywalkers. And you were going to have two Han Solo. You're going to have a Stormtrooper Han Solo and a normal Han Solo. Like you knew you were going to get multiples of those. You knew you're going to get a nice assortment of Stormtroopers, right? You're going to get some torsos that are all going to look the same in that 40 number. Like we just knew that was going to happen. So you kind of already had some of these expectations. But then they hit us with what they hit us with. Then we see this leaked image, which came from a warehouse person's cell phone or whatever, got the whole box, but front, back, side, all this stuff. I still think this is a bad way to do things. I still think leaked images and whatnot, I think they're terrible. I think they're awful. And I honestly still think don't put all your stock into it yet. Wait until you see the actual imagery on Lego's website where you get the exact dimensions, where you get, the lifestyle photos where you can see it in person, you can see it, or, see it in the Lego store or whatever. You can see all that before you go completely against this. Okay. And say the Death Star fell flat. Just give yourself a little bit of buffer here, a little bit of grace, and say just a sliver of the pie to wait until you actually see what they deliver. Now, Brian, you've seen it. I've seen it. The whole freaking Lego world has seen these leaked images at this point. Expectations versus what we could really be looking at here.
You knew they had to do something different. And if you have to do a Death Star, you were probably going to do something like an art set to me. And this is kind of almost in a way what that is. It's the vertical display piece. So my expectation wasn't anything other than that. And, $1,000 US is tough. And it's tough in this economy. It's tough in the Lego world. And it has to blow people away unanimously. And the fact that there's even divisiveness about the direction of it is unfortunate. This is what should have been what I said before of it being, the countdown on the website, That's No Moon, went from a perfect marketing opportunity to by far the most leaked and shared Lego set of all time. Of all time. And when you lose control of that ability to communicate the information and build hype like that, like we've learned with the donations and bogus donos, it's like, people get the wrong idea or they don't have all the information or whatever. I don't think any amount of lifestyle photos and any amount of justification on anything is going to change people's minds on the overall direction of the set. And, if I'm looking to display something in my 1-bedroom apartment in Soho, this is the most effective way to do it. It's going to be tall. It's going to be gray, but it has less gray in a way than the ball did because you had multiple floors that you had to build out and you couldn't easily display everything all at one time. So in this era that we're in of the IKEA shelves and tons of Lego that we've seen and all these basements all around there, this is going to look really good on that shelf. It's just a creative direction. And if you have $1,000 to fork over for this and you want it and you're a diehard Star Wars fan, go for it. Me, as a non-Star Wars fan, hardcore at least, the Millennium Falcon is the end-all be-all Lego Star Wars set. Unanimously unbelievable, amazing, want it. This is not. And me, as a casual Star Wars fan who appreciates more of the behind the scenes, the art of it, rather than what it actually is, there is not a piece of me that could ever get to the point of spending $1,000 on this, and even half off. I don't know. So,
well,
not for me.
Yeah, we're gonna. This is gonna take the majority of the conversation today. The price is one thing. The marketing strategy of this, I think, is the bigger fail.
Non-existent.
I think that's the bigger fail here. Like, honestly, like everybody wants to talk about the price. Everybody wants to talk about the leak, the fact that, you know, this could potentially be coming out here in October, and we've heard zero about it from Lego. You know, Lego's never been one to, they see something leak or something gets out there early, something even gets put on a shelf. They have their strategy in place, for good or for ill, of when they expect to actually turn something over and release it. And they will stick to it. Nothing is pushing them in any direction otherwise. I mean, right? Like, we're not anticipating the negative response to this, which has been pretty vocal, like pushing it to any kind of adjustment or change or whatever. Like, obviously this was clearly in a warehouse. Somebody opened a box at a warehouse and took a picture of it. So it's out there.
When I say it's sitting in a box at a warehouse,
right, yeah.
I'm not lying.
Right. It was in a box in a warehouse, and somebody grabbed it and looked at it.
Yeah.
But the reason I say this is, you know, we talked about it before. The lack of marketing strategy behind it has been interesting from the very beginning. You would think that such a landmark, supposed landmark set, would be highly celebrated and highly marketed, and, you know, prepare people for it. Do you think that they knew this was a bummer, and they just said,
what do you mean?
Do you think that Lego as a company felt like they needed to make this, but they are not looking at it as a slam dunk of a set? They're looking at it as, we got to push it out because we need to push it out. And they're just hoping that it dies in a year.
This is not going to die in a year. If this dies any less than 5 years, this is a failure. I think.
Well, this is your ultimate only last a couple years, right? The UCS AT only lasted a couple years.
2021.
Was that 2021? No, UCS AT was like 2023, I think.
No.
Somebody fact check us on UCS AT.
2021.
I want to know what the UCS AT release date was.
I think so. So yeah, but that's not this. It's two totally different things. I don't know who this is for, other than somebody who obviously really loves Lego and really loves Star Wars. And to me, the Falcon is just more appealing. Like, it's just a more appealing kind of a thing. And it's more a bang. I was right on the money. Look at me. My God. Yeah, but it retired in 2024. So 3 years. So if it lasts any less than 5, yeah, it's a fail. I don't know. I think any level of like marketing they try to do, apart from like a really fancy Instagram reel that they hired somebody to make like 9 months ago and will deliver it the week before, is a lost effort. You can't even bother. It's just, you got to put it out. You can't you can't have a moment to celebrate it. It's just, it's out there. It's like IGN is talking about. This is way beyond just a Lego leak culture. Right. It is out there, and people already have opinions. And
it was like that before they ever, like, you know, back when they Lego never officially announced $1,000 Death Star. All of these other news organizations did, the IGNs, the other, you know, whatever, and nobody from Lego was telling them no, that's not happening. I know it's 9,000 pieces, or over 9,000 pieces. Is there any way in the world that this actually hits at $900, at $850 where the Falcon sits, instead of, is there any pivot point where Lego says no, this thing's coming out at $1,000?
Absolutely, 100%.
So here's my question. You look at these leaked photos. Where are 9,000 pieces in this?
Structure, and we knew that from the Death Star originally. It's just a different form of the structure. So you have the entire elevator going through the whole thing, which, you know, I think might be a little bit of a waste of real estate, but you kind of have everything that you need from a Death Star. You have, you know, all the scenes that are the most iconic. It doesn't make sense in regard to the movie, but we knew it never was. It never did on the first one. I assume there's going to be a little hideaway hole for the Speedo Stormtrooper or whatever is lurking around here. There's going to be like some sort of Easter egg somewhere, or maybe the sides, maybe whatever. But I'm also curious how this actually stands. Like, how stable is it? You know,
well,
it'll have a substantial base for sure.
And that's what's interesting, right? Because of the way that it looks like from the schematics, they could have done something really interesting here, and they could have wall mounted this. But now it sticks out on one side of it, with the looks like the Emperor's throne room would actually jut out on the back side of it. So now you can't, at least from our perspective in these leaked images, you can't wall mount it.
It won't be flush. No.
Right. So now it's like you took there's another opportunity that I feel like was missed, because you could have, like, to me, you give me that, what I'm basically now referring to as a nice display cabinet of sorts that you can build, and you wall mount that thing. That would be pretty cool. Now, it's going to be heavy at 9,000 plus pieces. Like, you better put that nail in a stud. Like, it's going to be heavy to wall mount, right? But I think about all the modules that are in there, you know, the different scenes, right? The Darth Vader's chamber, which was never shown in a Death Star. It was always on a Star Destroyer. So like that, from a Star Wars purist, I look at that and I go, why is that there, other than to pad the piece count, right? But like, you know, the trash compactor, the throne room, these are all dioramas that we've gotten over the last couple years, right? And when you start, and they're miniaturized versions of those, right? They're dumbed down versions of those dioramas. So then I start looking at the overall pieces that you need for those and the prices associated with those individual dioramas. And if you start pricing all of those out, like, we're not getting to $1,000. So I still don't understand where that money's going. And where the piece count is, even from structure, because there's not a lot of greebling that's going on the outside. Like, it's a fairly non-greebled exterior from what we can currently see, unless there's a lot more going on behind the other side of that thing that we can't see yet. Because that front of that box, which we've seen, it gives us the front side of the opened front side of that pancake. I'm really curious what's happening on the other side of that. And I think that's where I keep going back to. I know you're saying to curb your expectations, but I'm just saying there's got to be more to it than what we're seeing on the front side of that box. Because number one, on the front side of that box, we're not seeing the hot tub stormtroopers anywhere. They're not there, which means they've got to be on the backside. So I'm curious what else is on that other side. And I'm hoping that maybe that structure is on a swivel and you can turn it in a way, potentially, so you're not having to like pull it out and turn it around or something like that. This set at $1,000 is a landmark price for Lego. Again, this is all based off of US prices. This needed to be a landmark set to go along with said price, and it's not. And Lego has been beat up over the last month, especially over the last month, on their prices, like by a lot of media outlets.
Not even including the Death Star.
Right. This has nothing to do with Death Star. This is just them on their own prices with sets that make no sense. By not even, and I'm not trying to call out all of our great friends that are currently in the Lego Ambassador Network, but even the land members who are making videos on sets have said things like, this set is not worth the money. I'm verbatim. This set is not worth the money. I would not buy this set on my own. The pricing here makes no sense. These are 3 quotes that I've pulled from various land member reviews on sets that have come out, especially in the Star Wars set world. It's not getting better with this. And I want the company that provides one of my favorite hobbies to succeed. And I'm concerned when we see things like this, that there's going to be a greedy type of stigma attached to them. And releasing sets like this, you know, it's not a, you know, again, maybe it's just me, but I feel like I'm in the majority on this one for once. Normally I'm on the other side of this, but for once I feel like I'm in the majority, where I'm not going to walk into a Lego store, see this and go, I need that. Like, I really need that. And I've been saving my money. Like, I've been saving money specifically to buy this set and thinking I'm going to have to pass on things like, you know, all of these other amazing, you know, sets that they've announced for September, rumored sets for October and November. Like, I you know, I was going to pass on all those for this. And now Lego's almost doing me a favor and saying, don't worry about it. I already passed. I had made a pledge with myself not to pass up a UCS set. And then the ATST came out, which should not be considered a UCS. It really should not be, because it doesn't. I've watched so many reviews now at this point on that set, trying to talk me into otherwise. Like, I'm trying to talk myself into otherwise, saying that set makes sense. It doesn't have any more articulation or anything than the playset does. It doesn't have any more detail interior wise than the playset does. Like, it does nothing extra except it's bigger. That's it. Like, it does nothing special on the build. It does nothing, like, it's not anything special. I'm comfortable now in my decision to pass on that UCS set. And guess what? 2 in a row. That sucks, man. Like, as a fanboy, man, that sucks. That's not what I want. That's not what I want from this brand. They do too many other good things to have their, in my opinion, that type of reputation tarnished. And maybe I'm being too harsh, but this was we saw these leaked images hit, and dude, I just got depressed. I was like, this sucks, because I was really looking forward to it. You raise those expectations. I was expected to be let down a little bit. Like, nothing's ever going to hit your expectations typically. But I didn't expect this amount of pivot on a style for them. I agree with you. They needed to do something different. They needed to do something special. They did something different, but they didn't do anything special. They gave us the Batcave without the front facade. Like, that front facade made that Batcave kind of cool, right? That shadow box style. This is a $1,000 minifig display cabinet without any cabinet doors. That's bizarre.
You know, I wish I had anything constructive to say, or to, like, this is all stuff we've seen before. It's all, you know, I mean, like, the mini Tidarium is cool. You know, you can probably anticipate a gift with purchase that's probably like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, I would bet, to go with this. That'd be fitting.
Sure. And
it'd probably be in the same scale, which would be fitting. I like that you can have the bay door and you see, like, space in the background. Like, that's kind of cool. You got some.
Yeah,
there's some cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't look at it and be like, it's a must-have. I had the original. I'm sorry, the 2016 Death Star. I used all my VIP points and my store discount to get it for $15. And only, like, you know, it was like right before lockdown. I probably traded it away or something. But, like, I have no desire to get this. I like, it could have been a moment. It could have been, like, you could have announced it at Comic-Con. Why didn't you announce it at Comic-Con? Mm-hmm. Why didn't you have? And I think this is a reflection of where Lego is at as a brand, as we were kind of talking about. It's like, there's so much stuff coming out that if your $1,000 product US and one of the most iconic Star Wars sets of all time is just another thing that comes out, as the fans of the product, we also are de-incentivized to get invested in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're de-incentivized to celebrate it and to go out day one and make it a moment. And I think you're seeing that in a lot of different industries, not just Lego, that there's too much coming out. There's not enough of curation, not even quality control, curation in a lot of stuff. And if this is just another October, September release, all right, I'll treat it like just another Star Wars set and not buy it. And then maybe there could be some recalibration of what comes out and what doesn't. But, you know, I'm already looking at Christmas stuff, hearing whispers about what those could be. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool, sweet. I'll get that.
This is saving me money. I just thought it was, you brought that up and I thought it would be interesting. I just wanted to go and quickly check. And I feel like the last time I checked these prices, I think things have gone up. I'd be curious to see somebody's opinion in chat that maybe monitors this stuff a lot more. I went back. I'm going and looking up the second edition Death Star.
Yes.
Last
it went
time
up $100 and it had an extra 800 pieces.
Yeah, I went back. I wanted to see what, like, the previous, like, let's say a month ago, right? I feel like I looked like a couple months ago. I want to say it was like averaging around $750. Like if you wanted to walk away with one brand new in box still or whatever, it was like $750. They've gone up now to about $1,000. And I think it's because of this. I think people saw this and said, people want the old one now. Because they see the market for what the new Death Star is going to be at $1,000. Nobody wants it. I can take that same amount of money and go buy the old version, which is probably, I'm curious, might be a better build. I don't know. I've never built it. You know, it's going to...
I built it. It sucks.
Does it suck? Okay.
It sucks.
It sucks. Okay. So, but, you know, like, I just wonder, right? Like, if you really wanted that sphere style, like, you could probably go out for that same price and get, you know, another one that has less rooms, less pieces, less minifigures, right? But get it as a sphere. It does look cooler. It looks like a Death Star.
My biggest issue with a lot of these Star Wars sets, you know, in this throne room, who's the purple guy? Oh, he's a right-hand man to the Emperor. Shut up. Who is that? You're not in the scene. Get out of here. I don't care.
That's Ugat Batu.
Ugat Batu.
Yeah. I have no idea. I'm just making that up. At one point in time, I probably knew who that guy was, but I get it. Like, I get it. There's going to be a lot of that stuff in that Death Star that I still go back to, you know, again, as a Star Wars purist, I look at Darth Vader's, you know, meditation chamber and I'm like, that wasn't in the Death Star. There may have been one in there. I don't know. They never showed it. Not in Death Star 1 or Death Star 2. They never showed it.
It reminds me of, it's the same thing when I saw that Mos Eisley Cantina and they were like, yeah, we included Greedo's spaceship as part of the Mos Eisley Cantina. And I'm like,
right.
What child, what adult was going to buy the Mos Eisley Cantina and think, wow, I really wish that Greedo's ship was a part of the set to really enhance the quality of the build and my value in the set. Right. Zero people. Right. Stupid.
I loved, the best thing about the Cantina was the playset that came out kind of along with it, right? That included Han's booth and Greedo's ship. So you could basically get that ship as a playset later on. That's what we talked about with the Desert Skiff and whatnot with the Jabba sail barge is like they didn't include the skiff in Jabba sail barge when they probably could have and should have for the price that they were charging for that as well. And because they did that, they set a precedent with the Cantina by doing that exact same thing. They had a playset that came out that had these couple things that captured a scene from that overall bigger set that ended up coming out, and they could have gone down that path, and they chose not to. I'm still as angry as I am. I'm not even disappointed. I'm angry about this. As angry as I am about it, there's still a sliver of my pie, my anger pie that I'm holding out until I see it in person, until I see the actual, you know, product images, official product images from Lego, the official release, the official measurements, everything like that. And I highly encourage you all to do the same. You know, this set was never going to be for everybody. It was too expensive to be for everybody. It's you know, it's unfortunately one of those sets. It's kind of that the Falcon wasn't for everybody, and still isn't for everybody. It took a long time for me to pull the trigger on that Falcon and get my hands on that. But I think, you know, I'm giving myself an opportunity to see it in person. And yeah, that GWP hits and you're like, man, this is like, this is going to be gone in 5 days or whatever. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for a lot of people not to pull that trigger and get it, because that's going to be one of those GWPs that's attached to that $1,000 price tag that people can turn around and potentially sell for a pretty penny down the road. So who knows?
I wish I was in a more financial position to buy this and then give it away. That's what I want to do.
Sure.
That's what I like. I don't want it. I don't want to build it. I don't want to keep it. I just want to buy it and give it to somebody. And obviously, I got to strike a couple more multi-million-dollar deals, trillion-dollar deals at this point with inflation. But yeah, I
think the build of it is what I think is going to really bum me out more than anything, is when I look at it, because it is, from our appearances, it just looks like it's smaller versions, dumbed down versions of the dioramas that we've already built over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Right.
Like, yeah, they've got the hangar bay's a neat idea. The stars in the background and stuff like that. It's kind of a neat idea. The shuttle was an interesting choice. I don't think the shuttle looks quite right. Like, there's something off about it. I can't put my finger on it. But it's a miniature scale, so it's got to look a little funky, right? Like, they got to fit it in there. It's not minifig. It's got to fit in there. But the fact that the fact that we've seen the trash compactor diorama, the fact that we've seen the meditation chamber, the fact that we've seen the throne room, like, those are all things that we've already built. And I just don't we would be rebuilding those, but in a much smaller scale. And again, I go, what else about this set is going to absolutely knock our socks off that, makes the build worth $1,000? What's going on inside there? What components, what technique, what is happening in there to move things around to, the elevator going up and down is not going to do it for anybody, right? Like, that's not going to do it. There's got to be something else going on in there that gives people that aha moment, that whatever moment that we get and we love. I just got done doing Soundwave, right? Soundwave was probably, like, I really loved Tudor Corner this year, and I loved Luxo Lamp and the vending machine and they've had some really good hits this year, right? Dude, Soundwave is dope. Like, Soundwave was like the set, man. Like, the technology they used, the design they used, everything going on in there was absolutely killer with that. And man, like, I want, like, show me where that kind of design and innovation is happening in our first $1,000 landmark priced set. Show me that. And that's why I'm still, that slivers, I'm leaving it, leaving it out there. Like, show me something that's going to knock my socks off. That's going to go, okay, you got me, right? Show me it's worth that $1,000. Show me something that's going to blow me away when I get to put it together. That's what I'm waiting to see. I'll tell you what did blow me away, moving on from the pancake, is another amazing IP that Lego has their paws into, and that's Harry Potter. And the new Hogsmeade collector's edition set goes right along with your Diagon Alley set that collector's edition set that you have out there. It's absolutely incredible. This, as a huge Christmas fan, dude, this is all me. I love this. Like, this is for my next Harry Potter, like, major Harry Potter purchase, dude. Like, Gringotts wasn't it. Like, it just didn't sit well with me. This fits right into my Christmas village, man, and I love it. I love that they are doing this Hogsmeade Village Collector's Edition. Absolutely love this. Spectacular set.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a high price point, man. I wish, they were actually doing it a little while ago. They had smaller versions of it for a lower price point, divvy it up a little bit. I don't know why they made it a $400 combined build. And to me, it doesn't carry the same grandiose presence as Diagon Alley. So, you know, as somebody who was literally just in Hogsmeade at Universal Islands of Adventure, it'll be cool to go back to the same spot where I, you know, had a glass of water. What I really want, I really want the GWP for this to be like a butterbeer cart. Like, I really want that. But like, that's the kind of stuff I want. Like, yeah, I agree. This is a great addition to your Christmas village, but
at $400, it's steep. Yeah.
$400. And then there's also the Christmas set coming out this year, which we have inklings of, but you know, you're looking at spending $500 on Christmas stuff. Right. You're like, all right, I gotta, you know, so anyways.
Right. Well, again, it's all coming back to price. And, you know, even again, at 3,200 pieces, look, we're not, I don't know if Lego just thinks that we're blind. Like, we know, we see it. Like, we see you using smaller pieces. We see you using multiple pieces to equal one brick. Like, we're not silly. Like, we're not stupid. We see this. I don't know if you just think that we wouldn't notice, but we do. Some of it can be tied to, you know, it adds a little bit more detailed look on the outside. Some of the buildings start to look a little bit more brick, like actual bricks or slats or whatever, right? Wood, if you start adding and combining, plates instead of just full bricks. I get that side of it. But when you stack a bunch of 1x1 plates on an interior of something to just create one by one brick, then we have a problem. And that's what they've been doing to raise these piece counts a little bit to justify the costs. And it's going to catch up with them. It's absolutely going to catch up with them on this stuff. As far as the details go on this set, it absolutely looks amazing. They went the same route with the GWP here. It looks like on this as we got with the Burrow. You're getting a exclusive Hogsmeade signed GWP. There's also the new Room of Requirement GWP, which will be free when you spend $130 US. So that you will get two. None of them will be a butterbeer cart.
Easy opportunity, man. Could have done it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. However, speaking of GWPs, guess what? The astronaut baby is back. Did you get one of these? Were you able to snag one of these?
Got one and then gave it away through AstroStream.
Nice. It will be $150 threshold US for this, running from August 12th through the 21st. I got a couple of these and I gave several of them away. But I built one and it's lovely. Like, it's such a great little set. Like, I want to sit him in front of the new mini arcade thing. Yeah. Have him just sit there and look like he's playing it, kind of thing. Like, I can't wait. It's very, very cool. Another head scratching moment. We hinted at this during our last show, but we didn't really get a good chance to talk about it. Are the new Nike sets have been revealed for September. We got a lot of good hits coming in September this year. Forget price. We got good sets coming in September. I think one of the best sets that we're going to have is the Wally and Eve set. I think that's going to be one of the best priced Lego sets all year. But the new Nike sets that have been unveiled, these things, I just don't know what they're doing with Nike. Like, who's designing these? Is this what sneakerheads want? Where are my sneakerheads in chat? Is this what you guys want?
Is this what the kids want? But it's not. They are definitely outside the box. Like, they're wacky, and I don't know if wacky in the right way in order to actually sell the thing. You know, I think a lot of people would want still basketball players to, you know, have it be like a whole big thing. But yeah, I look at these and I'm rather dismissive. Unfortunately, it doesn't capture anything for me creatively or otherwise with these.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we got, they did the shoe release, but was only for children. So the adult sneakerheads couldn't get into it. It's just so funny the choices that Lego makes sometimes with their branding partners, right? They clearly even according to their financials, they clearly see that the adults are their main source of, that wonderful little income line going up, right? Which is why we continue to get more display sets than play sets, and more of those black boxes, those 18 plus black boxes. And yet they don't cater to the sneakerheads, the adults out there that spend ridiculous amounts of money on sneakers, that wait for hours in front of stores when new sneakers are launched, that wait online and have purchasing bots available to them to get stuff and whatever, and spend ridiculous money on the secondary market to get their sneakers. They're not catering to that audience, it doesn't feel like, for their Nike sets. And it makes me scratch my head with this. And to Roy's point here in chat, is this what Nike wanted? How much input?
Maybe it's what they wanted. I think their partnership is only a super limited time, so maybe some of this stuff is just wacky enough that they want to get out there and try, and then it's kind of a churn and burn situation. So a lot of this stuff doesn't last super long, and once the partnership is done, I feel like they'll want to get it off the shelf. So maybe this is one of those situations. But yeah, the vision for it, I don't see it. It feels like something they would show at a toy fair and get really excited about and say, oh yeah, kids are going to love it. And then it sits there kind of like a Lego video sort of a deal. So I don't know. Whatever.
You know what it really feels like to me? Like I'm looking at this image right now of all three of the sets together on a shelf. And I'm not trying to knock anybody that does stuff, but this feels like a mock. This feels like I've gone to a Lego convention and somebody that doesn't have, unlimited access to all the magical parts that Lego has to offer. And the fact that they can, decide that, oh, we're just going to make this part or that part because we can't accomplish what we need with the parts available. That's what this looks like. This looks like a mocker decided to try to do something here. Create a person, create the shoes, create the logos. Like, that's what it is. And we've seen some amazing people do some amazing things with their mock building. But that's what this reminds me of somebody that is still, because even those amazing mock builders, like, they still have to work within a box, right? Like, they don't have those parts available to just make or reprint or whatever. And that's what this feels like. It feels like we had to design in a box and we couldn't get outside of that.
And that does happen. That happens in corporate, and Lego is no different because it's a company. You got to design. You got to design the thing, go with the project, and as creative as the art form is, there's definitely a business part of it. So maybe it's a similar like Mario, where Nintendo is probably like, yeah, we want this specific kind of a thing. You got to stick with it, but the sales will reflect it no matter what. So that's when they'll learn after the partnership's already done and they don't really care anymore. And then they just release something else that people might buy.
Speaking of Nintendo, did you pre-order a Game Boy?
No.
Are you going to get one? No?
Yeah, I'll walk in day one and probably get it.
Okay.
But
you didn't pre-order.
No. I didn't buy any Lego August 1st. I didn't get any Mario. I didn't get anything, unfortunately. Busy planning a lot of this stuff here, but I didn't make the jump. I was in Lego stores several times, but I'm like, I can hold off. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Maybe once I go to Brick Slopes, which is next week, surprisingly enough. I'm like in disbelief it's next week, but yeah.
What's after next week?
Like on my docket?
Yeah.
I collapse in the middle of the street.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, at what point in time does Bricks O'Brien finally get to rest?
Well, I usually take a break in September, but I might shift it up by a week, so that way I'm like good. So maybe I'll come back like the Wednesday after Brick Slopes, kind of hang out, and then that'll be and then take a break. What I've realized, and I can't get a grip on it, a lot of people go back to school and work in like August, or they take their last minute break or vacation or something. Like, August is the time a lot of people do it. So, being live is one thing, and I can work on other stuff in the background preparing for the holidays, right? So I think there's room to, especially after all this, I'm like, yeah, very done in a good way, I'll say. So yeah.
Well, I tell you what, to kind of wrap everything up here. The reason why I continue to go back to and express my worry with Lego and their current pricing structure and what they're giving us is, I feel like they've got people nipping at their heels, and I've got something to show off here real quick as a tease for a future stream here on Twitch. Hope you're all ready, but this will be happening on a future episode here on ZMB Live. I'll be giving my thoughts on the new Mattel Brick Shop Hot Wheels edition of the Mercedes-Benz here.
You buy that or they send it to you?
I'm very excited about that. Oh no, I got this with my own money. My own money.
What saw it in a store?
I pre-ordered this back when they announced these, and I was shocked to see it hit my doorstep. I knew it was coming because I got an email from them saying, "Hey, you're going to get it on Thursday." So I've been kind of like waiting to like see if it actually showed up or not. And I was like, wow.
That was March or February, right?
I think so. Honestly, I can't remember. It feels like it
took a long time to get that out. That's wild.
Yeah, it feels like it's been forever. But very excited about this. 1,600 pieces. They label it as a 17 plus set, Brian, which I thought was interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, they put it as 17 plus, not 18 plus. I'm very excited to put this bad boy together and see what it's like, what it's about, especially after just doing the Shelby Cobra from Lego, which I really enjoyed. Like really enjoyed that, and I've enjoyed the other cars that I've built with Lego. So I'll be curious to see how this one measures up. This is their more premium model that they have with the metal parts and things like that. I'll be curious to see how it works with those metal parts and all that stuff. Imagine if Lego had announced the Death Star 5 months in advance. Imagine.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. It feels like their system is broken and they don't know what to do. Like, I don't see. The only thing that impresses me about what Lego does on like social and putting together excitement is when they have a piece of content that goes out on Instagram about a set, and then it just kind of goes away. Mm-hmm. And then short form is just like, it's just gone, and that's it. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being with us here today. I appreciate you guys so much. So no ZMB Live next week because you're going to be at Brick Slopes, but we'll come back hopefully the following week with a more normal format where we have the timer and everything like that. Stand Up to Cancer will be completed at that point, and Brian will hopefully have slept maybe a little bit and we'll be fresh and ready to rock and roll for our next episode. Brian, when will you have big stuff coming up this weekend with the finale of Stand Up to Cancer? Talk a little bit about that real quick before we head out.
Well, tomorrow I'll be playing Mario Kart starting at 4. You will not want to miss it. Just be there. Saturday, we have a day-long celebration finale involving the entire community, the entire 2025 team of those who want to pop in and say hello as we conclude this massive 10 days of fundraising for Stand Up to Cancer. So from 11 a.m. Eastern all the way till midnight, we will be concluding the first ever charity auction, having as many people who want to be on part of the action and just shenanigans and tomfoolery the entire time. Looking forward to getting down with some nonsense, help elevate people's spirits, especially with all this bogus donation nonsense that's been happening, and end this thing off with a bang. It'll be something to remember and something to be there for. So Friday and Saturday for me, and then I will wither away like Luke Skywalker at the end of episode 8, and I'll just do one of these and just like, there I go. So
He's Tony Stark at the end of Endgame.
Yes, I am.
He just snaps.
Yes,
and,
I am.
You know, we're all just ready to lean down next to him and go, "You can rest now." Thank you guys so much for being here with us for this episode. Obviously, if you are in our live chat here on Twitch, don't go anywhere because we're going to be doing a giveaway for the Battle Bus display case here coming up shortly. We're going to be getting people an opportunity. Like, you'll have like 5 minutes to enter here. So things are making noises already. But thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you all. We love you all, and we cannot wait to see you guys on the next episode of Z&B Live. Until then, everybody, have a good one. Bye.